A Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year. This is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
Coming up, the governor updates the state's vaccine distribution plan. We'll tell you when you can expect to get your dose.
75 hospitals across the state will receive the first round of vaccines. I'm Audrey Russo, and coming up, how local hospitals are preparing if they are selected.
And a Southwick family left without a home tonight following a massive early morning fire. We have the very latest coming up.
Developing news today as COVID-19 vaccinations are expected to begin here in Massachusetts next week. Welcome to Western Mass News, everyone. At 6, I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. The governor unveiled a timeline and priority list which shows widespread availability for the general public come April.
And we have team coverage of today's developments. We begin with Western Mass News reporter Sarah Gurnelli with when health experts say we could get back to normal. Sarah?
Chris, Jordan, I hate to break it to you, but it's going to be a while. Health experts in the state say about 60% or more of people in the state need to get the vaccine before we can see any type of new normal like not wearing a mask.
We're here to share some news and details about our plan to distribute the first round of COVID-19 vaccine.
Governor Charlie Baker joined his coronavirus team on Wednesday to announce the state's official plan in place for when people in Massachusetts can get the COVID-19 vaccine. Once the Food and Drug Administration approves the vaccine, doses will head right to the base state. The first shipment expected on December 15th. Health experts weighed in on this new stage of the pandemic.
What we know about vaccines is that they dramatically lower your risk of needing hospitalization or dying. They protect you. What we don't know is whether they completely prevent you from getting a low-level infection or transmitting the illness.
Here is a look at the projected timeline for when people can get the vaccine. It's listed by priority. First up are healthcare workers directly working with COVID-19. Then, months down the line in April, the general public will be able to get the vaccine. Dr. Paul Bittinger is the chair of the Massachusetts COVID-19 Advisory Group. He believes more than 60% of the population needs to get the vaccine.
When things get back to normal, there's a lot of science that looks at this. People know the term herd immunity. We definitely have to get to a majority of the population who has effective immunity before we can get prevalence of the disease down low enough that we can get back much closer to normal.
And for those who have the coronavirus or still recovering from it, Dr. Bittinger still recommends getting the vaccine when it becomes available.
The current recommendation we believe is coming from CDC will be that anyone who's had a documented case of COVID in the past 3 months, wait until that 3 months has passed before receiving their vaccination.
And again, the timeline for when we all could get the vaccine could change depending on the FDA approval and distribution. For Western Mass News, I'm Sarah Gurnelli.
Our team coverage of the vaccine rollout continues with more on local hospitals and concerns about side effects.
Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo is live in Springfield with the details. Audrey?
At the governor's press conference today, Mary Lou Sutters, the Health and Human Services Secretary, said that not every hospital in Massachusetts will receive those initial first doses of the vaccine. 75 hospitals in the state will soon learn if they are selected to get the first doses of the COVID-19 vaccines. Western Mass News has learned that Cooley Dickinson will receive doses, but they're not sure how many. Because frontline healthcare workers are in the first phase to get the shot, hospitals have to determine the safest way to vaccinate their employees. Bay State Medical Center is prepared to have their pharmacists administer the shots like they would flu vaccines.
The actual vaccination is not going to be any different than a flu vaccine. It's going to be an intramuscular shot in your arm.
Western Mass News also spoke to Dr. John Bayuk of Allergy and Immunology Associates of New England. He says hospitals will keep in mind the possibility of mild side effects after giving the vaccine to their workers.
They're going to stagger them so that not everybody gets the same on the same day, so that everybody feels poorly the next day.
In the United Kingdom, 2 healthcare workers with a history of allergies had adverse reactions. Bayuk says this isn't uncommon in allergy sufferers.
There's going to be a role for allergists to get involved with this process in those patients who most likely already have an allergist and to guide them through it.
All of this weighing on healthcare workers. We spoke to a certified nursing assistant at the Holyoke Soldiers Home, the site of one of the deadliest COVID-19 outbreaks at a long-term care facility. Kwesi Ebler-Depi will be eligible in the first phase, and while he's nervous about getting the vaccine, he says what happened at the home has weighed heavily on his decision to roll up his sleeve.
We have to protect life. Their immune system is not all that good to handle this virus. So I think that's the reason why maybe I'll take the vaccine.
Now, hospitals that will receive the COVID-19 vaccine must have ultra-cold freezers in order to store the vials. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thanks for that live report. Taking a look now at the latest coronavirus numbers here in the state over the past week. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health is reporting 5,675 new cases today. That brings the total number of confirmed cases in the Bay State to more than 259,000. The state also sadly seeing 89 more deaths today. The statewide death toll now stands at 10,922. And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, log on to our free streaming Western Mass News app.
Just 2 weeks ahead of Christmas, a family of 4, including a 3-day-old baby, lost their home in a fire earlier this morning on College Highway in Southwick.
Investigators say it started as a chimney fire. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis has the details.
So I ran in and told my wife, and I think at the same time I called 911, told her to get up.
Daniel Kozlov speaking with Western Mass News about what happened when he saw his house on fire Wednesday morning. At first, he says he heard the smoke detector go off, and he heard some noise in the ceiling. He says he saw lots of smoke in the living room, but he didn't realize it was on fire until he went outside. This is all happening after the birth of his son on Sunday. Luckily, they hadn't gone Christmas shopping yet for the newborn or his toddler daughter.
We were planning to do it after she gives birth, which was 2 days ago, Sunday. So that was the plan upcoming weekend.
Kozlov says his kids were sleeping when everything happened. He says his daughter has no idea she just lost most of her toys.
I talked to my daughter, which is 3. She doesn't even know it happened. She thinks her grandma's just chilling, so.
Kozlov says his family is just thankful everyone is alive.
Very thankful to God that we got out safe. My family's in a safe place now.
Kozlov tells me he's looking for a house to rent now. The American Red Cross is assisting the family. In Southwick, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
New information now into last year's deadly crash of a B-17 plane at Bradley Airport. The National Transportation Safety Board posted all of its documents into their investigation online today. The report says the World War II bomber, owned by the Collings Foundation, was destroyed after crashing into a de-icing facility. 7 people were killed in that crash, including the flight's 2 pilots and 5 passengers. Several others were hurt. The NTSB says the plane had only been in the air for 5 minutes, and the pilot first reported that there was trouble gaining altitude, but didn't need any help. You can see the complete NTSB report on our website, westernmassnews.com.
Well, it has been a cold day today, but it was a beautiful sunrise this morning. Check out that sky looking like cotton candy in Wilbraham from Deb. We had so many great photos from viewers anyone who saw the skies this morning. It was absolutely gorgeous. Then, of course, we turned cloudy, but we've been dealing with snow showers and flurries much of the day. In fact, there's this one little batch coming across parts of Hampshire County and possibly even into the Chester area in Hampden County. It looks like maybe Otis, close to it. Seeing a couple of snow showers and flurries moving through. That chance exists for everyone over the next few hours, but snow showers will be gradually diminishing as we get closer to midnight. And skies may partially clear, but the cloud cover's hanging pretty tough. So temperatures haven't moved much, but we're already down below freezing now in Springfield. Wind is calm, so we're not battling the wind chill tonight, which is nice. But everyone is dropping now to about 32 or below. So we've got 30 in Orange, 29 in Covington. Not a whole lot of variation from town to town, city to city, and that's because of the overcast. Now, if you're planning on taking a walk, maybe through the neighborhood, check out those Christmas lights. Just make sure that you bundle up. We're going to stay in those lower 30s and eventually upper 20s closer to midnight. Not much of a breeze. Winds will stay light to calm through the rest of the night. And again, we'll have a lot of cloud cover. If you go soon, you may even can get a few festive flurries to kind of add to the funness of it, I guess. All right, so for Thursday, if you are working at home, you can just open up the shades. It's going to be nice out. We'll have good sunshine, not necessarily windows open weather, but we will get back into the middle 40s. And we get milder into the weekend. We'll take a look at that forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Janna, thanks. Hamden County's DA Anthony Gallooni announced the bust of a significant drug trafficking organization here in Western Mass. And the investigation led to the arrest of at least 5 suspects and the seizure of substantial narcotics and firearms. Investigators say there was a substantial amount of fentanyl uncovered. Gallooni says the amount seized in this operation would be broken down many times, leading to hundreds of thousands of individual bags sold on the streets of Western Mass.
Now to new developments in the case against a Westfield woman. Shanna Sharples has been sentenced to 6 months in jail for improperly disposing the body of her own baby. These charges stem from allegations that she delivered her baby and then got rid of the baby's body back in 2017. The body has never been found despite a citywide search. During a change of plea hearing this fall, Sharples changed her plea to an Alford plea, meaning if the case went to trial, she believes she would be found guilty but maintains her innocence.
New at 6, the Springfield Civic Center parking garage has a new owner. The city says the Massachusetts Convention Center Authority purchased the garage from the Springfield Parking Authority. The MCCA says it will replace the existing structure with a new modern garage that will include a sky bridge connecting it to the Mass Mutual Center. The MCCA also owns the Mass Mutual Center, which is operated by MGM Springfield. The current 5-story garage was built back in 1971 and features more than 1,200 parking spaces.